Hello everyone, my name is Logan Allen and this is my diversity plan for EFD 552. Now to get started, I want to tell you about the demographics of the school that I'm doing the diversity plan for. The school that I'm doing the diversity plan for is Weaver High School. I'm not currently an educator, but Weaver High School is where I did my student teaching, so I know quite a lot about it. I looked up the testing data and the demographics for Weaver, and so I did my diversity plan for Weaver. The total enrollment for Weaver of 2018 was 556 students. The percent of minority enrollment was about 28%, and the percent of total impoverished students, meaning those students that receive free or reduced lunch, was 57%. So the majority of the school receives free or reduced lunch. And they have 31 full time teachers. And there are the percent of the distribution of gender is 49% female students and 51% male students. Uh, and also getting into the demographics, continuing on about the student diversity. Uh, there are 72% white students at Weaver High School, and 19% black students, 3% Hispanic, 3% identify as two or more races, 1% are Asian, and the remaining percentage of students identified as other or they did not answer. Now, when considering this diversity plan, I want to accomplish one main goal, and that is to increase overall student achievement, especially student achievement in students of color and students that are impoverished. So that's what we're going to be focused on today is students of color and impoverished students. And to accomplish this main goal, I've set up three goals in the diversity plan and come up with many strategies to achieve that overall student achievement. So, goal number one is to increase the cultural awareness and diversity knowledge of all faculty, staff, and students. Now, how are we going to do that, you may ask? Well, strategy number one, is to hire multicultural educators and train current educators to be multicultural in their classrooms. By hiring and training multicultural educators, students are going to be able to gain a lot of cultural awareness and diversity knowledge, and exposing students to multiculturalism in the classroom is a great way to raise that awareness as well. Second strategy we're going to talk about is to increase cultural programs and workshops. Programs more so for students, and workshops more so for educating teachers how to be multicultural in their classroom. And creating these programs and workshops that are dedicated to multiculturalism is going to be a great way to help achieve goal number one. Strategy number three is to celebrate cultural differences in students and teachers. If a teacher gets to know their students and the students' backgrounds, that's going to be an essential facet for goal number one. Moving on to goal number two, we want to try to narrow the achievement gap between impoverished and non-impoverished students. Looking at testing data at Weaver High School, there is definitely an achievement gap in between impoverished and non-impoverished students, and we want to address that and come up with strategies to fix it. The first strategy is going to be increased intervention strategies for math and reading, which seems to be a trouble area, especially for those impoverished students. Strategy number two is to create outreach programs for these impoverished families. Just give them an opportunity to achieve outside of the school, and that's going to be crucial. Strategy number three is creating more opportunities for extended learning, such as after-school programs and even summer programs. Many studies show that these types of programs, extended learning programs, can help students retain knowledge, and I think that'll be very good for impoverished students, especially those that are struggling with the math and reading. Now, goal number 3 is to create a diverse curriculum that includes people of color. Strategy number 1: include scientists, historians, authors, and mathematicians of color in the current curriculum that you already have. Now, this is a very easy and simple strategy to implement, and it's going to have a huge impact. Students of color that see people that look like them, that are successful in the fields of science, history, English, and math, it's going to have a great benefit for their self-esteem, and it will impact their level of achievement. Strategy number 2 is to celebrate cultural events and holidays. Oftentimes, these things go overlooked, whereas we focus on more of the Christian holidays and things like that. And it would be important to, not necessarily religious holidays, but celebrate cultural events that are important to the different cultures that we are teaching. And also just understanding them is going to be important. And the last strategy for goal number 3 is to be aware of your biases and know how to combat them. It's just a fact that everyone has biases, and learning to overcome those biases is going to be necessary to achieve the goal of creating a diverse curriculum. These are some of the resources that I've used, including a framework for understanding poverty, our textbook for the classroom. And just as a closing statement, I think that introducing these goals and strategies over the course of a year at Weaver High School, or even longer than a year, it's not only going to make Weaver High School become a more diverse and culturally aware school, but it's also going to increase student achievement, especially in students of color and students who are impoverished, which is what we're trying to do. Thank you for watching.